Maybe we can move to the next slide, Ian. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm just going to very quickly get into what my experience has been with the SAB as the chair for this last year. So I came in at a very interesting time. I came in last year around September when we were essentially looking at a lot of SAB's processes, and we were looking at how to kind of bring together diverse, incredible students across the years. And it's been an incredible experience. I think it's been extremely enriching for me professionally. So I just want to kind of quickly touch upon a few things you can expect if you are applying to be chair this year. And I would highly recommend that anyone who's looking for leadership experience particularly does apply for this role, because you're effectively working with extremely smart, extremely interesting and diverse folks across different student years. So I think it's like a really great experience at learning how to work with people. And I think, again, in terms of networking, for me, this has been a really interesting way of, I'm a graduate student myself, but I feel like through this, I've made friends across the board, which has been really interesting. Again, in terms of the growth, so almost every week we are targeting a new issue. Sometimes that means a discussion around certain issues. Sometimes that means that we are spending time working on solutions for a certain issue. So I think it's definitely been extremely meaningful. And I think it's been something that I've been able to also apply professionally. In a lot of my internship interviews this year, I was able to reference some of my leadership experience with CIRCLE, and I think that was quite helpful in showcasing my leadership skills. So I would definitely recommend this to anyone that's looking to develop any of these skills. Yeah, I think Zian, we can move on to the next slide maybe. Perfect, thank you. So I think the next section, I just want to quickly touch upon, again, being respectful of maybe why everyone who's attending is attending. It's of course because you're either interested in an SAB member role or in the chair role, right? And we want to help you understand what do these roles actually mean. And maybe Zian, next slide, please. Thank you so much. So yeah, as I was mentioning, the SAB chair role, in a very practical sense, these would be your responsibilities. So the first is overseeing day-to-day logistics of the SAB. This could mean something as simple as setting up calendar invites, or it could mean something as complex as, talking to all members and making sure we're all aligned on discussion points for the meeting. Then another part is managing member engagement, meeting agendas, retreats, and special projects. I think this part particularly is really interesting and exciting because you get to take quite a few calls on how to best bring members together. And also, I think it's a great experience in understanding how to kind of build community. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely that's a great part of the role. You also, serve as a spokesperson and representative to external entities. So just as I'm doing right now, you would be hosting meetings like this, talking to people about SAB's work, helping people understand what SAB is and why it's valuable and meaningful, which I think is also, again, great practice in just leadership exercises, leadership building. And of course, you'd also be responsible for organizing events across the board for SAB across the campus community, and representing CIRCLE in other spaces where it might be relevant. So this is kind of a broad overview of the chair role, and then maybe we can quickly move into the